Hey everyone, I just wanted to do a really quick video about cover manipulation in KOTOR and what I think is an underutilized technique. So anyone with any amount of hours in this game understands how important cover is, just one of those crucial fundamentals that absolutely determines the outcome of engagements. And if you've watched any tutorials or high-level streams, you're also probably pretty familiar with the idea of wiring off cover to deny it to your enemy whenever possible. One thing that I almost never see, even in the high-level matches that I spectate, is using light vehicles to manipulate cover positions, because light vehicles have light crush and they can't go through sandbags, but they can go through barbed wire as well as a lot of other bits of small debris and foliage, which I'm going to show you. Map makers like to do this a lot. So you've got barbed wire that players place, but map makers also like to configure the natural cover of the map a lot of the time, so that usually it's the defending player gets much more comfortable access to the actual heavy cover positions. So in this case, you can see I can't really get the Tommy into position where they're going to actually have the heavy cover buff. They might have one or maybe two models in here, but overall the squad is forced by the foliage to stay further away from the wall, and they're not getting that full buff. The defending player in the west here is not going to have any such trouble. But one thing you can do is just drive into it with a light vehicle and clear it all out. And presto, you've got a perfectly usable heavy cover position where there wasn't one before. And now that you know about this, you probably will notice that almost every map has this all over the place. So here, some boxes and junk blocking access to this rail car. And the UC has no problem just clearing all that away. Now the attacking player here is going to have more and more comfortable access to the heavy cover positions. So the other thing is, you don't need to really worry about destroying the position itself, because the light vehicle can only crush very light objects. So I'm going to show some more examples on other maps now. So here we are on the classic Crossroads. This map's been in rotation forever, so a lot of people have kind of like their standard game plan that they go for. And one thing that's often a large part of that is making a point of getting out to the fuel area, the entrance to the fuel sector, and wiring off this cover position that is so good for the enemies and so bad for you because of all the junk that's on the other side and prevents you from using these tractors as cover. You can't really get in here. Same thing on the other side. In fact, over here it's even worse because this is the only heavy cover position in sight. So if you're the southern player here, I think it makes perfect sense if you've got a light vehicle to just drive up here. It takes all of 2 seconds, and now that position you can use it to. If you're going to barbed wire the other side or not, it can be a great help for defending this area in the future. And Crossroads has tons of other examples of this. So there's these. This is one of the big ones, a very important position on the map for both players. Entrance to the fuel sector. But there's also several other spots. Usually whenever you see these hay bales, they've got a little cart positioned next to them, and that makes it difficult for the attacking player to use this to kind of pin the other player in their base. But you could just get rid of that. The same thing with this little tractor. This fence is preventing you from using it there. Just get rid of it. And again, the light vehicle, you're only going to be able to drive through the light debris and not through the cover position itself. So this basically takes no particular micro skill. You just right click right up to the spot. I'm ready. Go. So these are all good candidates here. Maybe you'd want to get rid of some of these bushes, but almost every map you can look and find some position where this would potentially help you. Whether it's setting yourself up for a more stubborn attack and holding enemy territory, or in this case over here, more of a defensive move.
Hunt! Stand by.
But yeah, that's about it. Let me know what you think. I think this is an extremely underutilized technique, even as far as we are into this game's life cycle. I still haven't really seen this enter the meta as something that players do, and I don't really see why not.
We're ready to move.